if you simply leave the room, there's other rooms with people who are better than you. I would just apply, or I would just talk to the person. Like, there's a lot more people on this planet that you will not get along with than you will get along with. So minimize the opportunity and the time frame for you to overthink it, which means just hit the button. And walking out of the situation, I'll be like, okay, what the hell did I learn from that? Yes, of course I want to try this with you, and of course I want to do this with you. There's no tomorrow. There is only today. Tomorrow and the past, they don't exist. First of all, shut up. Just shut up. Okay. Or you are comfortable your entire life, but then you're also extremely unhappy with who you are. People think way too much. I feel like today's episode is gonna be a little bit more shorter only because I've actually like fully written down what I've wanted to say, so I'm not gonna go on any more thought tangents. I've realized a lot about who I am, right? And how I grow and what's the best way for me to grow once I came to college. The thing I find funny is I've had 4 years in high school to learn or have the opportunity to learn how I grow in high school. But for some reason, I feel like a lot of things accelerate when you get to college, especially because of all of the independence that you have. But my point is, I've actually learned a lot about that, and I've made a lot of mistakes for semester, and I made a lot of changes this semester. And I've really found this like kind of algorithm on figuring out what makes the perfect environment for someone to grow and basically just become a better person. I feel like one of the first things that I changed were the people around me. I feel like a lot first semester, the people that were around me, I didn't really pay attention to who they were or what kind of people they are, only because at the time, like when you first get to college, I feel like what's on a lot of people's minds is like, oh, making new friends and, you know, meeting a lot of new people and engage in all of these different circles, and basically just like don't really push anyone away until you really get to know them, which is a really good mindset to have. But at the same time, that doesn't mean everybody is your friend and everybody deserves your time and everybody is a good influence on you. Not saying that, you know, you could be easily influenced, but just having certain people around you kind of unconsciously changes how you think and who you are. And I really noticed that within myself because I was really nervous about meeting new people when I came to college. And so basically the very first people that I met and I hung out with, like new people that I didn't already know, I was so excited to meet them. I was like, I'm so happy that you want to be my friend, and I'm so happy that I want to be your friend. And that we met each other, and I didn't really think about, okay, who actually is this person, or how does this person like actually affect who I am and affect my lifestyle. I feel like the light is reflecting on my glasses and it's irritating me and I don't know what to do about it. Okay, what, we're just gonna deal with it today. You know, after a certain point, you know, drama happens, things happen, people clash, people argue, and I would say the most important thing to do during all of that, especially if it doesn't directly involve you, is to kind of take a step back, notice how everybody reacts to the situation. Everybody reacts differently. Everybody has a different part. Everybody has a different side. Everybody has a different story. But regardless of all of that, there's a certain way that people really will react to the situation. And honestly, to me, that's what's more important. When these things would happen, you know, I would look at everybody in the situation. I would realize, like, okay, who's acting like a child? Who's not taking accountability? Who's not taking responsibility? The bigger man, or like, just all of these things where like I would like look at someone and be like, I can't be around you anymore because you simply it's not even like I'm judging your character and I'm like trying to be mean, but it's like can't be around you anymore because of the way that you think about things. Like it's like things that simply just cannot be changed, and it's not your job to change that person. So the only thing you can do is just remove them from your life because they're this like negative energy, and they basically are not on the level, I guess, on which you want to be. And if you don't surround yourself with people like that, then you will simply never become like that. And then you're going to keep wondering, why am I stuck here? Why am I stuck here? It's because you're with other people who are also stuck at a place where you don't want to be. And how are you supposed to grow in a room when you're probably the highest person in the room? There's nothing for you to latch onto. There's nothing for you to climb. There's nothing for you to do because you in that room are already at the top. But the most important thing to realize is that if you simply leave the room, there's other rooms with people who are better than you and people who you can look up to and ask and talk to for advice, whether it be friends that you have for your entire life or other people that you just simply have, you know, talks with, that you have asked for professional advice or just other things. there are other rooms. The room that you are in right now does not have to be the room that you're stuck in. And that took me a while to realize that, because actually, I don't even think it took me a while. It was just like this thing that I hadn't fully understood yet, which is like the people that you first meet when you get to college, you're not stuck with them. It's not a rule that you have to stick with them just because they're the first people that you met. Actually, a lot of shit happens. A lot of the times you will not be stuck with those people because there's a lot more people on this planet that you will not get along with than you will get along with. And if you are to find someone that you get along with, even just past your first semester, you are incredibly lucky. I'm honestly happy to say that I think I've found at least one or two of these people, and I'm so happy. And I'm excited to meet more people that I can be friends with and get along with, and that will like enhance my life, and I enhance theirs at the same time, because that's what friendship is about. You basically need to treat yourself right like a plant. Everything around you is like nutrients almost, if that makes sense, like things that you need to help you grow. And the first thing that will not help you grow is people who are not growing themselves. A lot of the friends that I spend time with, like I actually go out of my way to spend time with, are people that I look up to, that I admire, that I think have the same behaviors and capabilities that I either have or want to have. And just simply being around them makes me feel like, oh, no, if this behavior can be done in a day-to-day basis, then I can also do it. There's a way for me to implement this into my life. There's like a way that this can be done. And if there's a way, then like I'm gonna figure out, I'm gonna do it. I have that confidence, and then I also have those people around me, which makes it so much easier for me to just grow as a person and achieve whatever goal I want or whatever goal you want. The other thing is almost like kind of like the most important thing is realizing that always being comfortable is probably your greatest enemy. I think this semester, a lot of the opportunities that I've received or I've tried to get, the only reason I've even gotten that far is because I threw myself into so many situations where like I didn't know what the hell to do, and I had to figure it out on my own, in like on the spot. I've been doing that all throughout high school. I'm not gonna lie, I spent a lot of time like on my extracurriculars. A lot of the things that I did or I got to do were because I would either just sign up for things or walk into a room or just introduce myself to somebody without knowing what the conversation would entail or where would it go or what we would talk about. But I would just do it anyway without overthinking it in my head. I actually wouldn't even think about it. I would just hit submit, or I would just apply, or I would just talk to the person. Like, it's actually a lot easier to not think about it than think about, like overthink about it and then go do it and then like psych yourself out. When you're applying to something, look at the application, fill out the application to the best of your ability. There's nothing else you can do. Hit submit, hit apply. After you hit the button, there's nothing for you to overthink, because what is done is done. If what is making this hard for you is the overthinking of, oh my god, am I going to be able to do this? Is this for me? Like, maybe I'm not good at. First of all, shut up. Just shut up. Okay. Second thing, just fill out the application. Just go talk to that person. Introduce yourself, send the email, send the text, do something. Just do something. What happens afterwards is just what happens. There's nothing you can do to control it other than trying your best. This process only becomes easier if you stop overthinking it. So minimize the opportunity and the time frame for you to overthink it, which means just hit the button. Just hit the button, just talk to the person. Like, don't make it harder than it needs to be. Is it going to be uncomfortable? Absolutely. But that's just something you're going to have to accept. And the other thing you're going to have to accept is, with things being uncomfortable, you're also going to face a lot of rejection. But you are not going to face success if you don't face rejection first. So if that's what you're overthinking, is the rejection part of it and people not liking you or you not being good enough for a program, okay, so what? There's so many opportunities out there for you that you're simply not fit for. What are you going to do about it? Growth only happens in discomfort, because how are you supposed to gain confidence or like new behaviors and habits if you don't put yourself in these situations where you have to actively use your brain, which is another episode I'm going to make, to realize the changes that you have to make? If you stay in this same sluggish, maybe unhealthy routine, how are you supposed to actually use your brain to figure out how your behavior and your routines and maybe your personality have to change? It just doesn't happen. It doesn't work. So much of the habits and the behaviors that I have currently right now are because the beginning of the semester or even all throughout high school, I threw myself into these situations where I'm literally looking around and I'm like, I genuinely have no idea what to do now. and I have to figure it. I actually have to use my brain and figure it out. And walking out of a situation, I'll be like, okay, what the hell did I learn from that? And I'm like, oh wait, okay, you know what? Actually, that wasn't that bad. That was just life, and I'm like just living my life, and I'm experiencing new things. And even if it didn't go the way I wanted it to, so what? Actually, it's not that big of a deal. There's probably just something out there that I have to, discover that probably is for me. And when that time comes, that time comes. Like, what else am I gonna do? Like, it's really not the end of the world. The hardest part of this is probably the acceptance of it. A lot of people think they have like that initial motivation of like, oh yeah, no, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. The motivation may take you 2 weeks into the future. The most important thing is the acceptance, and what comes with acceptance is discipline. So you basically need to like really get it into your mind that if you want to grow, right, you want to become a really the best version of yourself, the only way that's going to happen is if you're extremely uncomfortable for a really long time. I mean, I don't even mean like physically, I just mean mentally. You're going to be constantly thinking, you're going to need a lot of energy. Honestly, side note, that is going to require having a healthy lifestyle. I don't even want to look at it as unfortunately, because again, like your mindset matters so much right now. Growing and becoming a new person requires so much energy. That takes into account all the food that you eat, people that you surround yourself with, because people, they release energy, and you take the energy in, and then you release energy back depending on it. If the people around you release slow and unhealthy and very not growing energy, you're not going to do the same thing because you're going to think that's normal. So whatever you want your universe to be and whatever you want your world to be in the future, that's what you just surround yourself with, and you need to start doing that right now. There's no tomorrow. There is only today. Tomorrow and the past, they don't exist. Right now is the only thing that exists and the only thing that matters. The more you keep wasting your mental energy on things that literally are not in your reality right now, the more time you're wasting on things that you can't change, and the more time you're not spending on things you can change, which is right now and what you can do right now. That's like mainly what I had to say. Again, it wasn't a super long episode. It was just kind of something I've been thinking about recently. The environment that you are in every sense matters so much when you're trying to become a new person. It is really uncomfortable to go through change. It's just really, it's just like a difficult thing to do, but I think honestly the reward of it at the end, not even at the end, but throughout, when you fully become comfortable with becoming uncomfortable, that reward and that feeling is so much better than being stuck in like your old patterns, and being stuck with people that are not going to help you grow, do not think like how you want to think. It's just better. And I think being uncomfortable is worth it, because it's either that or you are comfortable your entire life, but then you're also extremely unhappy with who you are. It's either you're uncomfortable for a little bit and then you get used to it and then you're really happy with who you're becoming and who you are. You don't even have to be only happy at the end. You can be happy along the way too. Being uncomfortable doesn't mean that you have to be extremely unhappy the entire time, or like put your head down and keep working. No. You're allowed to live your life and you're allowed to have fun. That's what comes with becoming your own new person, and surrounding yourself with people that also do the same thing, which people who want new experiences and people who look for opportunities to learn and grow and become better versions of themselves. That doesn't always mean having to sit down and put your head down and work hard. It's like, no, people who get off their asses every once in a while and are like, oh, do you want to go try this? Do you want to go do this? Like, yes, of course I want to try this with you, and of course I want to do this with you. It makes it so much easier when you don't have to literally drag the other person out of bed and beg them to do something. Don't be friends with people like that, because they clearly have their own growing and learning that they have to do, and you can't help them do that. That comes from inside, which is the same thing you have to do, which is that motivation and that discipline comes from the inside. No one's going to tell you to do that, but it helps if the people around you are also doing that, and you look and you're like, oh wait, no, okay, that's possible, because there's like 5 examples in front of me right now where people are doing the things I want to do, and if they can do it, that means I can do it. I can figure out a way. So you need to walk into every situation with that confidence and that mindset of like, there's no other choice of me becoming anything but who I want to be, and a better version of myself, or a person who achieves this goal. Whatever it is, it doesn't even matter. Your environment matters so much. So be conscious about it and make conscious decisions with who you spend your time with, where you're going, and what you're doing, and how much time you're spending on this and how much time you're spending on that. You're having issues with that? Start using a calendar. Like, it makes your life so much easier because then every morning you're just like looking at it and you're like, oh, okay, like, okay, no, like I know what I'm doing today. I know what needs to get done. And again, you're minimizing the time where you have to overthink everything. Just think when you don't need to. Like, people think way too much. Honestly, that's what I realize, and that's what I do that too, you know? Like to this, it's a hard thing to get rid of. Starting now will kind of ease, into the process of it ending sooner than later. So just make it easier for yourself. Anyway, that's most of what I had to say. I'm looking at my notes and I don't think I have really had anything else I wanted to talk about. I wanted to try to keep it short and sweet because I know the last one was kind of long. But that's all I had to say. I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope it helps. I hope it makes sense. And I hope you can use information to like actually start making like an active change in your life. And maybe I'll make one on actually how to change the people around you, a little bit more detailed so it's easier. But I'm hoping this at least gives you like a starting point, something to jump off of and helps you look at where you need to look. Helps you. I'm tweaking. You know what? Just forget it. I think you get the point. I'll be back soon with another one and I'm really getting back into it and I'm excited. I'll talk to you guys later.